Earlier this year, the Rugby Business Network and Dursley Rugby Club invited Ben Morgan to talk about life, rugby and his hopes for the World Cup.
I think it's quite important. You get a lot of people that go through academy systems that haven't had the experience of going into any form of work, so all they know is rugby. They know from 14 all the way through, and that's all they've done. And they may get to sort of 20, 21 and be told, right, you're not going to make it, and all of a sudden it's like, well, shit, I've got to try and find out what I've got to do. And at that sort of age, it's a bit too long to live off your parents or whatever, and you've actually got to start supporting yourself, and it's a bit of a wake-up call, really. So I actually feel quite fortunate that I joke around, but a lot of lads have been moaning about going in at sort of 8 o'clock, and I've had to get up at 4:30 to go and catch a lift up to a job on site, and some people just don't know or don't have that experience because that's all they've known. So it's great that you're able to put on courses and give people experiences, and I think you probably don't really appreciate it when you're younger, but as you get older and you start to think, well, actually I'm going to be nearing the end of my career soon, or you have an injury and you think, well, actually I've got to start looking at what I'm going to do. So it's important that you do, and it's great to have those sorts of opportunities.
Good. I'm glad it's going well for you, and I've got a son who's looking for a house, so he might be on your list of renters soon. The recovery in your leg was probably the first question in everybody's mind. I'll ask the question that everybody might be thinking, so put you out of misery. We were so close on Saturday.
Yeah, really close. A lot closer than Wales.
Yeah, so... at times we thought we were watching that match, biting our gums, thinking, we're going to do it. What do you think we did wrong?
In all honesty, I think we let ourselves down against Scotland. You take any of those chances, we finish those. It's a different situation. We were in a position to win the tournament. Obviously, I personally don't think we actually played to our potential over the tournament. We were slow to start, missing a lot of tackles. We didn't have that zip about us that we normally have, particularly in defence. That French game, obviously, the big doubt going into it for a lot of people was, were we capable of scoring that many points? Obviously, we've proven that we are, but unfortunately, by playing that loose, expansive game, it takes a lot of energy out of you, and we weren't able to defend as well as what we'd like. But I think if you look at it as debriefing the whole tournament, you've got to be pretty happy with how English rugby stands going into the World Cup. There was a lot of question marks over were we capable of scoring points, and you look, we're leading the try tally there. I think Ireland played a pretty negative game, but it was successful for that tournament. I think English rugby, there's been a lot of injuries, myself included, but every player that's come in has really stepped up, and there were question marks because Stuart had stuck with a team and not really experimented. Yes, in the centre a lot, but other than that, not really experimented. So you didn't really have guys that were proven at test level. But now, I think across the board, we've really got strength in depth. Everyone's challenging for a position, and it looks really strong going into the World Cup.
Good, excellent. Well, I'm going to open the floor to questions. I'm sure some of you, Glendon, have been stood there itching to ask a question of Ben.
Oh no, I don't ask questions.
Did you think it was the right call at the death, that penalty to France?
No. No, I think it's one of those things, it just didn't go our way at the end of the day. I think Nigel's capable of calling big calls, and it's just one of those things that makes it twice as hard. I think forgetting that again, if we go back into, we had 2 line-outs that got pinched on their 5 metre line, so we had opportunities to go and win it. That was a Grand Slam finish, nail-biting all the way to the end, and unfortunately we came on the wrong side of it, and it's been the 3rd year that we finished second by points. So.
Yes, a bit depressing, but slightly better than Wales.
Yeah.
Is that the last point we're going to have work on?
No.
Has anybody else got any more questions?
Yeah. In terms of balance of the back row, there's lots of different combinations. What would your putting personalities to one side, but in terms of what you would look for from partners in terms of open side and the blind side that you like to play?
Who would I pick?
Well, not personalities, but types of players. Yes, yeah.
I think if I talk about...
You can talk personalities if you want to.
Well, look, I think Chris Robshaw, a lot of people give him a lot of stick. And him at 7, everyone's calling for a real forager, someone who's really going to attack the breakdown. And I think he actually doesn't get picked up for as much stuff as he actually does. Because when we debrief games and look at stuff, I'll explain, we get awards, basically. In our own team, we get given awards, and he is regularly receiving awards for his work rate, decision making, the breakdown, and it's a lot of things that people are asking for, but not seeing that he actually does. But I think the balance in the back row, as long as I'm playing, I'm happy. So. But I mean, I think it's.
So what are you looking for a 6 to do?
Well, I think a 6. It depends. There's lots of different ways to balance your back row up. It depends on the person that you have available. I can't pick a combination that I can say that is going to work every time, because it depends on who you've got in that position and what their attributes and weaknesses are. So I think a 6 is always nice if you've got a good ball carrying 6 as well, because it kind of gives that extra dimension. Like it's generally, you don't want just one big carrier on the field, so to have another one, or like I'd say Chris Robshaw does a lot of carrying as well. So it's good to have that balance, because then it's different attacking threats for me. If you've got lots of people, when you're reviewing a team and going, well, he's a carrier, you've got to watch out for everyone. But I mean, yeah, look, I think 7, I do like a foraging 7. Work rate's a given, and then 6, big ball carrier, and then 8, no one other than me.
I do have a question actually. It's always struck me odd that you've got great set of feet for a big guy. You're quick, and you seem to run a lot of. They use you as a decoy runner, where they use the other bloke as a ball carrier. And my observation is that he's actually not that effective. Probably effective at Premiership level, because the defensive setup is not as accurate and as clinically good. And I just wonder why you're not used to carry more often.
Difficult for me to answer, to be honest. I think, I don't know really. I guess.
Is that a strategic thing? Because I mean, when you have carried, you've actually.
No, I wouldn't say that. No, it's just we've got set structures that we like to play to, and that's one of the things that I find that when you play an 8, that for us, say if we hit on midfield, we'll be first at that breakdown. Then 6 generally will carry around the corner. 8 and 7 will get up. And then if we've gone wide and we're coming back, then you've got, this is boring, so I'm just talking shapes, but so
I'm enjoying it.
7 and 8 come back up, get off the feet, and then use it as a decoy. So it's just one of those things. But I mean, you can hold out and make yourself that carrier, but it means someone else has got to go and do your work as well. I don't know, it's difficult really. It depends what's being said on the field and what's being called, I guess.
Who calls the plays in then?
9 and 10.
They actually call the plays for the forwards as well?
Yeah. Well, yeah, we don't have brains, we just
I'd be interested to know what sort of age in your youth career did you settle into the number 8 role?
Simon? How old was I? I don't know. Quite young, wasn't it?
Well, you're on the wing quite a lot.
I was settled
Where you played
And you had 40 years.
Then I had a year out, and I probably came back after that, didn't I?
Yeah, 14, 15.
Yeah, about 14, 15.
The reason I asked the question is I coached 14 and I've got one of my players here tonight actually. And we still play him in, how many positions do you play? Don, 3, 4 different positions? We still move players around a hell of a lot. And I was just interested to hear when you sort of settled down to a regular position.
Probably, yeah, 14s, 15s. But I mean, I'd say it's pretty good if you're able to play lots of different positions, because you get an experience for the game, your game understanding is going to improve. Not only that, just talking positionally rugby, but different sports as well. If you're able to play lots of different sports, I was quite lucky. I grew up playing lots of different sports. Just try and handle everything really, and I think if you're, that goes back to sort of academy stuff. If you're solely in that academy, then all you know is rugby, and they're developing you for one position. So I think you get much more benefits, in my opinion, for trying lots of different things, different sports, different positions. So I think, yes, you're going to want to settle down. You're going to find a natural position where, well, A, you enjoy it the most. So I think that's pretty important. If you're not enjoying a position, well, there's no point in being on the pitch. Jack Robson, been battling, one of my best mates, absolutely battling to get out of second row. He absolutely hated it. And just to the point where he was like, well, I'm not going to bother playing. So I absolutely hate it. Put him at back row or in the centres occasionally, well, absolutely loves it. He's there all the time. So I think it's important that you get that, because the most important thing is you enjoy it, and that's why we play the game.
It's interesting because we play against squads that have got smaller squads in the 14s, where the players play in the same position week in, week out, and we struggle against them because obviously we're moving our players around. I've got 50 players, so we're moving our players around all the time, and so consequently it does give a difficulty in managing parent expectations, in the fact that they're expecting to see a team that are, winning more than losing, and actually sometimes when you've got such a large squad, it's a challenge. So it's
that goes into what Simon said earlier about the fact that this club is about giving people opportunities to play. It's not solely fixed on winning. It's about giving people chances, and I think, yes, it'd be quite easy to go, right, we're going to cut everything down right now, you're not going to get on, and then you lose your numbers, and then all of a sudden the club doesn't function. So this club is about the community, it's about getting people here and giving people opportunities to play. I started here, I played all the way through, played lots of different positions, and as you do get older, naturally, well, numbers do dwindle as well, but also you do find positions that you want to play.
Can I just ask, develop this issue of playing lots of sports when you're younger? Because I sort of do believe that you should try and play as many sports up to sort of 16 as you possibly can. But it's not going to happen. It's going to be very difficult to fulfil that, isn't it? Because the skills required at the highest level are so difficult now that you are almost inclined to play one sport or two sports.
I can only speak from experience. I played football, cricket, rugby, I went trampolining, badminton, squash, I did swimming, I did all sorts. So I had the experience of doing lots of different things. I didn't go into academies, so I'm saying that there's still that opportunity. And you're saying that only people that go and focus purely on rugby or whatever sport you're trying to get into are going to make it. Well, I've got to disagree with that.
Yeah, well, there comes a time where you have to, my own boys have been through this themselves, and like you, I threw them into every sport that they wanted to have a go at in the hope that they stick with something, stay fit and healthy and keep out of trouble, and touch wood, thankfully they have. But they did everything, and then they got to a point, 14, 15, where some of the sports come together and they're playing on the same day. Those sports they have to make a choice of, because we had instances where we'd go to a rugby match in the morning and some of the lads would say, oh, I can't give 100% to rugby because I've got another match with another sport this afternoon. So there's that decision as to where the priority lies there. But if they're not clashing matches-wise, I'm a great believer in let them find their own place.
And let them play football.
Yes. I agree with totally what you're saying. I just think it's going to be quite difficult for people playing higher level to sustain that, really.
If you go and look at an academy, say, for example, the lads that I knew that were in Gloucester Academy from a young age, they were in there at 14, playing rugby, just focusing on rugby. I think you can say 3 players that made it out of that academy. So when you go and look back at it, well, I've put everything into it and I've not got out of it. Whereas if you're trying lots of different things, you might, well, all of a sudden I'm a great badminton player and go into that. Like, it might not work. And I can only say that I had a great childhood, playing lots of different things, enjoying things, and actually my passion was always rugby. That's what I love.
More consider it significance of football really dominance of football sort of 12 to 15 years.
I think that's different. I mean, with football, you're seeing young lads of 10 getting picked up with full-time
That's 7, haven't they, been picked
Well,
up?
there you go.
Signed for
They get-
huge amounts of
They get
money.
picked up
It's
and
different
given
role.
wages from that. I'm only talking about
Yeah.
I was playing and just doing everything because I love the game.
Absolutely.
There's a difference in the money between the rugby and football, unfortunately,
Yeah.
isn't there? Let's be honest.
Just picking up on your point, Mark, about moving around positions, when you come across those clubs, having been there, done it, a couple of years ahead of you, yeah, what you do find is you will find that those kids that are coached in one position, so they've got one squad, they go away, they've only got 20 kids, they only need to pick up 2 or 3 injuries, and then suddenly they've got nobody who can fill that gap. There's someone who can't hook, or they haven't got an under 10. Poor Simon, his physique kept changing all the way through. He went from being a hooker to a prop to being a number 10, playing on the wing. He flanks now, so as long as their bodies are changing and their abilities are changing and improving, they're going to be moved around the field until they've got the right position that fits them.
I still moved around when I got to seniors. I still played games in the centre and that sort of stuff. So it was never 100%. Say more often than not, it was 8. But then, if needs must, then I would move around.
Give that message to my players.
Yeah. You can play the tape down.
Can I ask Ben?
Yep.
It's been a bit up and down, hasn't it, with Gloucester, and obviously we're holding the Challenge Cup, which will prize at the end of the season. But how do you feel it's gone with David and the whole sort of ethos of the squad this year?
I've been really impressed. Yeah, I'm really impressed with them coming in. I think the disadvantage that we were at this season is we were actually, obviously the coaches left very late on, so it was a lot of the recruitment for new coaches was done over our pre-season. So ordinarily where you'd spend a lot of your time focusing on your skills, getting the set up patterns that they want to play, all that work put in, we were actually still strength and conditioning and fitness. So I think that's where we've struggled this year, is getting them, they came in really late. They're only able to give us a limited game plan of how we want to play and improve it only marginally as we go, because it's learning totally new structures. I'm actually really looking forward to next season. After the World Cup, there's an extended pre-season. We've recruited well this year, so we've got some players coming over from the Southern Hemisphere, and we've had a few lads come in early as well. So I think having that extended time with the coaches on top of what we've already done this year, you've seen a massive curve in how we went. Obviously Northampton, that first game, absolutely awful, but that was going against the league leaders who hadn't really changed their team. So I think the way things are going, it's definitely an upward curve that Gloucester are on. I like the things that are happening off the field, in the back rooms, the people that we're recruiting. We just had new head of academy come in, so it's really starting to build everything around strong foundations to be able to achieve. So I'm looking forward to that.
Got a question?
Right.
No, you've answered my question.
Oh, right.
What do you think the Southern Hemisphere is so much better than us then?
Are they?
Are they?
Andy, out the door.
Realistically, New Zealand have always been #1 and they've only got 4 million in the island. Why have their rugby been that much above us?
Look, I don't think they're that much above us. We played them first game, lost by 3 points. 3 points isn't that much. But notoriously, they've been knocked out in the quarterfinals. And they won their home World Cup, obviously, but that was a close one against France as well. So, look, I think everyone can peak at different times. That 2003 side, I don't think they lost all year. And that was against Southern Hemisphere sides as well, autumns. That was Six Nations and the World Cup. So, but I think there's definitely the skill level does help, because they're able to go out and play all the time. But equally, I'd say we've got skilled players here.
If I ask one final question then, as we mentioned in the World Cup, every speaker that we've had, we've got a little tally going.
It's top 3.
We have got the pool of death. So what's your prediction for our pool and for the final?
Well, I'm saying we're top in the pool.
Right.
And I actually reckon it would be probably England, South Africa in the final. Yeah.
It'll be interesting.
Who's coming third? Wales or Australia?
Not Wales. Australia. Please.
That is so sad.
We finish on that that note actually, because we normally wind up. Before we just do that final draw, I just need to say a big thank you to Simon for coming out and chatting. Thanks again to you, Ben. My aim here was, the RBN is about to say grassroots up to elite, was to bring the RBN into a grassroots club so you can see exactly what the challenges of grassroots rugby are. Can I just ask you then if you would kindly,
Excellent.
it is a tenner, so it's someone in the room tonight, it'll be on the back because I told them not to write over Queenie's face.
L. Gibbs.
Hey!
Come over here and we'll have a photograph.
This video was edited and uploaded to YouTube on the 17th of September 2015, the day before the start of the World Cup. Ben is close to our hearts at Dursley Rugby, and so everyone at the club has had their fingers crossed that he would achieve full recovery in time to play at the World Cup. The whole of the club, and I'm sure England too, are really pleased that the recovery went to plan and his performance in the World Cup warm-up matches has secured his starting place at number 8 in the England team. It'll be great to see him take to the field at Twickenham tomorrow against Fiji. Good luck to you, Ben, and to the whole of the England team too.